Hello, everyone. Today, I am giving you several hacks that you can make to your prime tea to make it even more individualized. So we have our basic true ingredients, which are cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and fennel seeds. And that is always kind of the foundational steps for the prime tea. Now, if any one of you have any adverse reactions or allergies to any of those three ingredients, by all means, go ahead and take one of those out. But you don't have to stop there. There's several things that you can do to make your prime tea even more powerful and more enjoyable. So I wanted to show you kind of the thermos that I use. I swear this looks like the most industrial thermos in the world, but it's an amazing thermos because it keeps my tea warm all throughout the day. And depending on how much time I have in the morning, sometimes I'll actually make the tea the night before and put it in the thermos, and it's still warm the next morning. And I just got this thermos at my local Target, and it's not going to break the bank. So there's a couple ways you can do the tea, and I'm talking about first now just our foundational 3-seed tea. You can either boil it for 10 minutes if you want it stronger, or you can add the seeds to boiling water and just let it steep if you want to make it weaker. Or if you're like me, where you've been doing this now for a while and you're really tolerating it and you're ready to take the next step, you can actually add all the ingredients into your thermos, add the hot water, and let it steep all night long. It's up to you. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll just boil all the ingredients in the morning. It just kind of depends on what's going on, how strong my digestion is, and how much more support that I need. Now, in addition to those 3 seeds that I mentioned in the book, you can add that beautiful red powder manjishta into the tea. Now, it won't dissolve all the way, but that's totally okay. You'll still get the essence of the herb into the tea. And that helps particularly for people who have a lot of excess fake fat. And that's usually for people who have underlying pitta. So if you identify with pitta in the dosha questionnaire in the book or on the Prime Club website, then please feel free to experiment with adding manjishta into the tea. And if you answered yes to the fake fat questions, it's definitely worth a try. Now, in addition to that, I also mention in the book that you can add fenugreek seeds. Now, most people do not know what fenugreek seeds look like, so I'm showing you them on our little demonstration today, what fenugreek seeds actually look like so that you can identify them. And what I typically do is I just do a pinch of fenugreek seeds and I will add it into the water as it's boiling, or if I'm going to let it steep overnight in my thermos, I'll just throw it into the thermos. And the reasons to do this is if you want some extra help with your digestive fire, so for those who have mostly vata and kapha, they really can benefit from this. Or if you're experiencing a lot of excess gas, fenugreek seeds are amazing for excess gas. And for those who get like acute gas pains, you can even just put a pinch and suck on them and your gas pain will resolve. Absolutely amazing. And I have this in my kitchen. I actually cook with this on a regular basis. So I have this in my kitchen all the time. One thing I realized when I was preparing for our talk today is how many glass jars I own. I own a lot of glass jars because I own a lot of spices. So other hacks that you can make to your prime tea, and partly this is for taste. I love the taste of just the tea plain, but some people think the taste is a little bit strong. But a much bigger part is actually the medicinal value of these herbs and spices. So the next hack is adding cinnamon. And there's several different ways that you can do this. You can do it as a cinnamon stick, which is what I typically do. And what I usually do is, I'll take the stick and just kind of break off a little piece about this size and add it to my tea. If you like, you can add the cinnamon powder if that's a lot easier. And cinnamon is helpful for several different things. So from an Ayurvedic perspective, it helps with balancing both vata and kapha, and it's really good at helping to get rid of amma, or the toxins, and improving digestion. Now, people who have excess pitta should be a little cautious with the cinnamon. And as many people know, cinnamon is being studied for a variety of different conditions, but one in particular is helping with blood sugar levels. Now, only caution is there is a particular type of cinnamon that you want to use. It's the safest type, and it's spelled Ceylon. So when you're buying your cinnamon, most cinnamon used for diet is this particular type of cinnamon, but just make sure that you are looking for that particular type of cinnamon to add to your prime tea. Okay, the next hack, I'm so happy right now. I have like my entire desk is just filled with different spices and the smell is fantastic. I should just have these out all the time when I'm working. The next hack is cloves. And again, people often don't think about adding something, like cloves into a tea, but it's an amazing spice. And what I typically do is I'll take, 2 or 3. And again, I don't necessarily put all of these in my tea, but at any given time of the year, if I need extra support with my digestion or if something's going on, I'll choose 1 or 2 of these spices and throw it in. So I'll normally take 2 or 3 cloves and again, just add it to the tea either as it's steeping overnight or if I'm brewing it first thing in the morning. And cloves are also really helpful for increasing the digestive fire Agni and breaking down ama or those toxins. Now again, because cloves are a little bit heating, for those with excess pitta, you should be a little bit cautious. Now, the reason why I use cloves, and I put cloves in my tea almost year-round, is it's particularly helpful for getting rid of parasitic bacteria and fungus and other organisms in the GI tract. And because of my history of getting Giardia when I was in Africa, and then I traveled to India almost every single year, I tend to be a little bit more on the cautious side when it comes to what's growing in my gut. So because of my extensive travel, I use cloves almost nearly year-round. The only time that I will leave it out is sometimes in the summertime when my pitta is getting a little bit on the high side, which I will usually know because my husband will comment on it. Then I will remove the cloves from my tea. And then as soon as the weather starts getting a little bit cooler, I'll add them back in. Now, I really love the taste of having the cloves in the tea. I think it creates a really nice aromatic taste. So for some people, they may want to do it just for the taste, but again, it has tremendous benefit medicinally, especially if you have sluggish digestion. So another hack for the tea, which I mentioned in the book, are these cardamom pods. And this I mentioned in the book as a way of being able to get your sweet cravings under control. I hope everybody was able to see that. Maybe that's a little bit easier. But these little pods, you don't have to take the seeds out of the pods. These little pods have the cardamom seeds in them. And I'll typically, same thing, take 2 or 3 and throw them into the tea. And the reason for doing this is specifically, or I should say especially, for those who have a problem with sweet cravings. So you throw it into the tea and it gives it a nice sweet taste that your brain recognizes, but it doesn't have any sugar. And also for those who simply feel that the tea needs a little bit of additional sweet taste just to make it more tolerable. Again, I love the tea as it is, and a lot of people really enjoy the tea. But if you want to make it a little sweet, instead of putting sugar or honey in there, just add the cardamom pods and you'll get that nice sweet taste. Now, if you want to make the tea a little bit stronger for improving your digestion, there's still some other things you can. You see how exciting this tea gets. I mean, there's so much you can do, and really just experiment with it and see what feels good. But the next thing you can add is just some fresh ginger. So my household year-round always has fresh ginger. We have fresh ginger as well as ginger powder, always, always, always in the kitchen. And what I do is just, I'll cut the tip just of one of the knobs, and I'll cut that into a few fine pieces. They're still fairly coarse. And again, I'll throw it into the water as it's boiling or let it steep with the other seeds. Now, the time that I use the ginger is usually the same time that I will also add the cinnamon and the fenugreek seeds in. It's typically during the fall and winter when your digestion naturally gets a little bit more sluggish. I'll also add the ginger, the cinnamon, and the fenugreek seeds whenever I am doing a cleanse for the same reason. It helps to process all of those excess toxins that are being released. And now this is something that I don't traditionally do, but this was a recommendation by one of our Prime Club members, so I'm including it because it seems to work for people. For those who want to just cut the flavor of the tea a little bit, just squeeze a little bit of lemon, and this is completely up to you. And the benefits of this, again, is lemon also helps to improve digestion. So either for taste reasons, because you want to just kind of cut the maybe the savory taste of the tea a little bit with the acidic, the fragrant taste of the lemon, it's perfectly fine, but it also does actually help with digestion. So I think it was a great idea. It wasn't one of my own. It came from one of our Prime Club members. Now, for those who are having difficulty with detox symptoms, this next set of recommendations may be particularly helpful for you. And these recommendations are also really good for Pitta people. So I feel like some of the recommendations we've mentioned so far for increasing Agni may feel like they're only specifically for Vata and Pitta, Vata and Kapha types, but I wanted to make sure that we were getting some good recommendations for our Pitta people as well. And that is the use of dandelion root as well as chicory root as additives to your tea. And there's several reasons to do this. So first of all, both of these are very, very helpful for helping to support the liver. And I will oftentimes actually just add these in independent of my prime tea, just add it kind of into my regular routine whenever I am doing a detox because of the extra liver support. Now, for those of you who drink coffee, this is oftentimes used as a coffee substitute. So this might be a way to bring it in, again, either in your prime tea or as a coffee substitute. There's several ways to do this. And the chicory also, I want to give it a little bit of time as well. The chicory also helps to support digestion and is particularly supportive of the pancreas gland in helping to make sure that all of your digestive enzymes are being secreted properly. So there's several different ways to do it, and it really just depends on how easy or complicated you want to make it. For those who drink coffee, what I recommend is using this product. It's called Dandy Blend. You can get it on Amazon. And this is probably the easiest way to do it. And it's so, the way that they have made this, the taste is so close to coffee that for most people, they have no problem replacing their morning coffee. And if you want to go slowly, you could, maybe just do 1 spoon of this and reduce your coffee by 50% and then gradually transition from coffee completely over to Dandy Blend. And you can make that hot. You can make it as a, you can make it as like a room temperature drink. And for those who like doing the cold coffee drinks during the summertime, you can make this into a cool, refreshing drink then as well. You can also use this in recipes where it would normally call for coffee to get that coffee taste. So we've actually made like coffee flavored kefir with this and coffee flavored puddings with this. And it's a wonderful, delightful, and very, very healthy treat. If you want to make it a little bit easier, if you're more of a tea drinker, I love this product. It's tea chino, and all of these things are gluten-free, and it's just dandelion dark roast, and it has chicory and dandelion in it, and you can just drink this as a cup of tea, or you can add one of these tea bags. It's very, very convenient. Just add one of these tea bags into your prime tea with all of the other seeds. And again, you will get kind of a nice coffee-like flavor from that. Now, you don't have to take it to this next level because these are really easy to find. And this is easy to find on Amazon. And I'm all about doing things with ease. But If you really, really like this and you want to kind of take it to the next step and make it a little bit stronger, this is the way I use dandelion and chicory root. So I actually have these chicory root grains, and if you look at it, it looks a lot like coffee, and these are substituted. And this is a very, very healthy substitute for coffee, and it's completely caffeine free. So I will usually take a teaspoon of this, and I actually get the not real, not that that's any less real, but the less processed dandelion root, and it looks like this. And I mean, the smells of these are just so amazing. I just could sit here and just smell this all day long. And I'll usually take about a teaspoon of each and add it to my prime tea. Now, I do this typically when I'm detoxing, but for those who have a lot of pitta or for those who want to get off of coffee, you can easily do this on a regular basis. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation on how to make some prime tea hacks so that your prime tea is even more beneficial. But remember, even if you decide just to do the basic 3-seed tea, it is still a miraculous addition to your daily routine. Thank you so much for joining me today.